Well, today is a really sad day for a lot of people. Over 1,000 people have lost their jobs due to the mismanagement of their brands at Hasbro. I'm pretty sure the CEO is still going to keep his bonus, though. 1,000 people is 15% of their workforce. All of that so that they can soften the blow of the fact that they did not meet their quarterly earnings. In the final quarter of the year, they earned $1.68 billion dollars. In all of 2020, they earned $5.86 billion dollars. But since that was 9% lower than they earned in 2021, and that final quarter was 17% of what they earned at the previous final quarter of 2021, they've decided they have to take action. For whatever reason, Hasbro cannot seem to make enough profit when they have brands like, obviously, Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons, my two all-time favorite games, I think. Certainly the games I've spent the most money on over the years, but they also own the right to make Marvel toys and Star Wars toys and Disney Frozen toys and Disney Princess toys and Transformers and Trolls and Furbies and everything else. They basically own 98% of the toy aisle in Walmart, and they still can't make as much profit as they want. How incompetent must the leadership be where if you own those brands, you can't turn a huge profit and that you project more profits than you're going to make? I think that just falls on the CEO at that point. Things get considerably worse when you look at where the money's coming from for Hasbro. In 2022, of that $5.6 billion they made, $1 billion of that was from one brand alone, and that was Magic the Gathering. But Magic players are tapping out, pun intended. We've all been begging Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast to slow down. They are printing way too many new products every year, way too many unique cards. It's impossible for players like me to keep up. And because we can't keep up, we lose interest in trying to play the game altogether. Every single month now, there's brand new cards. Every couple of months, there's reprints of valuable cards. They're messing with the secondary formula. They're messing with non-rotating formats. They're messing with commander products. There's just too much. This is going to reach a breaking point, and I have a feeling in the last quarter, it probably already did. I know I haven't spent any money on Magic the Gathering in 6 months, and I know most of my friends haven't spent anything in quite some time as well. And Dungeons and Dragons players have already reached their breaking point, so they can't monetize that brand any further either. They tried to do that earlier in this year, and they saw a huge revolt from both the companies that make the products to the people that play with those products. They're not having it. They want to monetize that brand further, but here's the thing. Dungeons & Dragons is a game of the imagination. You don't need official rules. You don't need an app. You don't need books. You can do it all in your mind and on a piece of paper, so good luck monetizing that. And when it comes to its other brands, you think toy sales are shrinking, right? Especially during this current economy. No. In Q3 2020, toy sales went up 4%. And Hasbro failed to capitalize on that. People are going back into the toy aisle to buy toys for themselves as collectibles and toys for their kids, and Hasbro has failed to meet their demands. Instead of bringing all of those other brands they own to life and updating them to a modern world where they can sell them to people with quality video games and quality apps and quality toys, they've looked and figured out where their cash cow is, and that's the talented folks over at Wizards of the Coast. And in my opinion, they're working them to death and in turn destroying both the Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons community. And that's not going to last long. They need to diversify, and they absolutely are not. And I feel really bad for the 1,000 people that are getting fired. Some certainly will be at Wizards of the Coast. I don't think it's their fault that they did not meet their earnings potential. I think it comes down to leadership. If you cannot sell Nerf guns to kids, that's on you. If you own the rights to make Marvel and Star Wars collectibles and you can't get me interested in them, then that is on you. You are out of touch and you need to be fired, not the people you are over. And of course, all of this news has caused Hasbro stock to crash even further, just like you knew it would. Amongst all of the bad press and all of the issues and all of the anger and frustration, all of the disappointment and the toy brands and everything else, people are selling off their stock, and you can't blame them. It's down 25% in the last 6 months alone, and I don't see that correcting itself anytime soon, especially when you're firing off your workforce. What this means for Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons, I don't know. But I know as a player, I'm going to be just fine. I've been selling off my official cards recently and taking that money and putting it into other things. And when it comes to Dungeons and Dragons, I can make up my own rules. When it comes to Magic, I can proxy my cards. You don't have to have the official products for these games. And the more they charge for them, the less I'm spending. Simple as that. Ladies and gentlemen, you've made it this far in the video, then let's do me a favor, raise a glass and let's toast Chris Cox. I never get to use this phrase, Chris, but I'm going to get to use it here. You've officially ruined my childhood. Cheers, buddy. Now that's just one man's opinion. I know I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments section below. Are you buying into Magic now? Are you selling off? Are you giving up on Dungeons & Dragons? Have you bought any Marvel or Star Wars toys? Let me know. And as always, thanks for watching. I love you very much, and I will speak with you again soon.